his answer to the question. Well, what do you think? I mean, is there? You can't just kind of, you can't just rule him out like that quickly, surely.
Nope.
Nope.
I mean, there is play here for Thiuth.
Oh,
They
hold
are
on a minute.
around here.
This might be the play. Wymon gets caught out by a stun. He's a very, very soft support to go after. A massive Crystal Nova, but he does end up going down. That'll be a first blood the way of Thiuth. In TSM, they do not have an answer.
Yeah, that's one way to get it done, right? You know, you go for these early smokes, go for this aggression. It's a good first blood to find. You should be able to at least get themselves their 2 runes as well. TSM, their level 1 presence just isn't as good. They don't have as much stuns. You know, a Broodmother with Spin Web isn't really that scary just yet. So Thiuth understands what they have to do, and I think they've got to come out strong like that. We heard T-Panda say it a while ago. They do have strong lanes, like at least stronger laners. And as long as they leverage and learn from that weaker start they had last time, if they do come out with a stronger start here, get their side lanes, get their mid going a lot better, then I think that's where it comes in. You do have this early timing that you can play around. It does raise the question of, will you even get that space up against a Broodmother? Like, yes, you do have the Legion Commander counter, but it is still a Broodmother. Like, you hit certain timings, it will just focus in and push out.
And it will. We'll have a look at the mid lane to get started. In fact, never mind that, because Love is making a bit of a chase onto Ahri. Actually, stun out as well here from our CK. Ahri's taking a lot of damage here on the side of TSM. And one more might do it, no, but Love is still going for the chase into the tree line. That'll definitely favor Love. Another kill to go the way of Thiuth. Well, Fee must be feeling very silly right now in the old green room.
I mean, they are playing aggressively, right? Like, that's a good shake-up. They are just looking for these kills. They're getting those strong lanes out, as T-Panda said. And there's really just not much Ahri can do. Maybe walking into the tree line wasn't, the best place to go up against a tree and protector. You are giving some space out to Kasane, at least to hit level 2, hit level 3, and be a lot more comfy in that solo lane. The other lanes for TSM are going decently as well. Vrald's matchup mid is pretty alright. I don't see Esk dying in this lane this time around. There's no real outplay potential for Vrald to do that unless Esk really missteps. So I think that's one shining point for Thiuth as well. You have a much more even mid that can come through. And you can get aggressive on mid as well if you do find that opportunity to rotate. Like 9 coming in on the Tiny, getting an avalanche toss into the Leshrac. Easy kill on the sniper if Vrald's not careful.
Certainly so. Bottom lane once again there. I'm going to try and make a move, get very aggressive here against Kasane, and if they do, they'll be getting plenty of damage off. Such a strong combination, this bot duo between the Treen and the CK. Just the amount of base damage these two have, it's kind of ridiculous. Arrow is going to connect from Ahri. A lot of creeps here on Love, so he's going to have to go for a bit of a run, but ultimately should be just fine. He's buying plenty of time, though, for Kasane to pull the creep wave himself towards zone tier 1 tower. And we are going to actually have a short video with Ahri as well coming up very, very soon, and we'll get to hear what he had to say. But yeah, so far so good for Thiuth. TSM probably not too concerned with the way this game is going, though. Still very confident with their own side of things, holding on to that net worth lead. Yeah, top lane, I suppose, is the one we haven't really talked about right now. Napkin kind of getting jumped at the moment with the Blood Right to fly out from Tomato. It's going to be just fine to survive, and we'll be able to walk away.
Yeah, just a little bit of a back and forth. TSM, again, their lineup might need a little bit more time in comparison, but once it gets rolling, you can expect that push to come through. So Thiuth has to keep this momentum going as long as they can. Like, keep dominating these lanes. The moment that momentum runs out, things can go south pretty fast.
Well, I think we might have a moment here to, in fact, hold that thought, because Love is moving in once again down to that bot lane. It's just so much aggression that could happen at any moment. Let's take a moment, though, to have a look to see what Ahri had to say about this matchup going into the DPC.
Start of the game is coming out of the draft feeling like we've got a clear goal for the game, and everyone the skills like this draft we're gonna have an easy time winning the game. This is the best boost of morale at the start of the game. The first tier 1 tower, the offlane tier 1 tower when you kill enemy safe lane. I mean, that tower, that's always like a really big thing for the early game. That's the big morale booster for me as a 4 player.
Well, there you go. There you have it. Ahri, of course, with the draft, the first tier 1 tower. It's all about raising confidence, is what he says, and I can't quite disagree with him, John.
Yeah, you just want to feel good about your game, right? You want to feel good about playing Dota. You want to feel good about your team. And Dota is a battle of morale, right? Like, most great wars are fought not really by killing the other side, it's just by feeling better. Dota is no exception to that kind of warfare.
Yeah.
So mental warfare, definitely the big thing of Dota 2. And Ari's highlighting that as well. I do want to point out that bot lane. Part of that ridiculousness is really just how much you get with Reality Rift with such high base damage heroes. Once you Reality Rift, I mean, that minus armor just amps up even a Treant Strike. Like, it's just not tenable for any of these heroes for TSM down bot. Kasani's still finding some decent CS, though. He isn't falling too far behind, but you definitely have an edge here on Thiuth. So have that early build-up for them. And slowing down the Broodmother can buy you some much-needed time. Holding on to that tier 1 slows down that momentum.
Here we go again. They'll try to Kasane on this Brood. Kasane will try to fight back with the Insatiable Hunger. Lamey getting a little bit low, so is forced to back off. In fact, Ari's going to leap right in. Lamey now, the one in trouble and does go down. There you go, just confidence from Kasane. Level 2 Insatiable Hunger proving to be more than enough to just heal through the damage outlook. And well, Thiuth, got to be a little bit careful now, as you don't really want to feed gold back the way of the Brood, considering how tough of a start she's had. Now Love in danger. Sane probably not going to have enough to finish off the job. In fact, Lamey now going to jump right back in, but it seems like at this point TSM have kind of equaled out the lane, and a little bit challenging for Thiuth to continue the domination they once had.
It's just that patience TSM needed. Once you do have the levels up on the Brood, you've got the Hunger, you've got the Bola, like the right clicks just start slowing down, especially with the Bola up onto Lamey. They don't have follow through without that damage coming out from the CK. So you can't commit on the all-in, and Kasane now can just kind of work his way up, hit that level 6, and really look for the push. You're not laning against the LC, so the wave clear isn't there to handle that split push you want to pull out here.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Love. Fight over that Invis rune there with Ari, and does manage to pick it up. Neither mid laner will be able to get that power. Rune is now 9. Barely going to avoid that arrow. In fact, I believe it was the headshot of Bryle that knocked him far enough to avoid the arrow. So very, very lucky for our mid laner. Esk. Back in on the left track. Because Esk had an incredibly unfortunate last game as well in that Batrider. This time around, not so bad. 26 and 9 so far. Hasn't died once. Be happy with that performance, I'm sure. At least for now.
Yeah, just free to farm right now. No big rotations lining up for the mid yet, and I think that's something that Thiuth could have maybe built upon more a little bit, but the lane for 9 was tough. He's still just level 3 on his Tiny. That is more than enough to kind of toss Bryle out. He is playing really cautiously, and they do have good wards to protect Bryle on mid from any sort of shenanigans. So just going to have to settle into a little bit of that farming game. Again, they've got to be pretty reactive on the map. It feels like on Thiuth, the moment TSM will kind of clump up and try to buy space for Kasane to split push bot, they've got to do something about it.
Top lane, Napkin's having a bit of a rough time. He had to run through the Rupture, and it's just not going to be enough. We'll go for a bit of a man fight, but Tomato has the back of Whitemon, and rather Whitemon has the back of Tomato, and we get the job done. Bottom lane, Love. Try and go for a run, and we'll be able to just get away from Kasane and Ari. These lanes now starting to look a little bit stronger for TSM.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Thiuth, be careful again not to throw the momentum back the way of TSM, because we've seen what happens if they get off to a good start. And it's not going to be any different with this kind of draft either. Like, you're against a Broodmother and a Bloodseeker. If they get those initial items up, they can just start running at you. Mid lane, however, speaking of running at 9, we'll get a nice toss back onto the left track, but now in comes the cavalry to back up Bryle, and it looks like he might just survive through it. He barely dies, but at what cost?
Oh, too high of a cost. And Esk dies first. He doesn't get the XP from that. He does get a decent enough gold bounty, but TSM are a little bit happier with that. Timely rotation out, timely TPs coming out from Whitemon, and Ari walking in at the right moment. And for Thiuth, it does feel like there was a little bit of pressure to get that move going. Right? Like we've talked about 9 having to move on that Tiny with the smoke. Breaks, there's enough time to react there. They are lining up bot here, Esk TPing down here as well.
Is under attack. Radiant's
What do they
courier
find?
has been killed.
And Kasane's a great target if you can lock him down, but you don't really have the initial stun. Meanwhile, mid lane's starting to be forced in. One, Frostbite is there. Arrow is going to connect, and this will be the Tiny to drop. 9 can't really do anything about it. He will just go down, and Ryle, he will just keep chipping away at this mid-tier 1 tower.
And because you rotated Eska, he's not quite there in time to kind of try to help save. No TP available on hand. And they don't really find anything to do on Kasane.
Oh, they found an even bigger target. Esk. He came to try and defend, but he's defending all alone, and maybe assumed the Mirana and Waimonsim had left the building, but they had certainly not. Another easy kill here for TSM. Ari, he might drop, so Lamy at least gets a bit of a trade and does. Critting at the right time, and I mean, why the hell not? Mid-leap gets the right click, but nevertheless, TSM, they are still forcing in that mid-tier 1 tower, and that's never great news if you've got a Treant Protector on your side of things.
No, it's not a great feeling. The living armor is stalling. The physical output of the sniper might not be enough to push through that.
Bottom lane, what they got there, it's going to be Kasane on that Broodmother, and that'll be the first dual win to come out for Napkin. Bit of a win out for the side of Thiuth.
Yeah, building up, immediately rotating down to deal with those spiderlings. It's a lot of free space for Tomato once more, though, and it's reminiscent of what we saw in Game 1, where his Morphling was just AFK farming, now his Bloodseeker is just AFK farming, triple slippers of Agi, Maelstrom not too far off. His farming pace is really damn good.
Oh, here we go again. 9, just going to get dropped. Brahel with a double damage rune, just kind of one-hits him. Once again, with the siege creep up, they're going to move into that mid-tier 1 tower. It's going to be it's starting to look like another dominant performance here from TSM, slowly but surely.
Don't give up, guys. Don't give up.
I do appreciate the morale boost there from Ryle.
Yeah, for the other side.
Yeah. I have a feeling he's not trying to really boost the morale of Thiuth, John.
Oh, I wonder what makes you say that, Mikey.
Oh, goodness me. I guess I'll take a moment to remind you, John, the odds did kind of reflect this this kind of performance here between these two teams. TSM, of course, at 1.09 compared to Thiuth 6.72 in terms of odds from our betting partners, esportsbets.io. Top lane, they are going to drop 9. The Tiny down once again. And TSM are just running right back to the mid lane. Just rinse and repeat. Jewel is their bottom lane, but this time around, Kasane going to be much tankier. Still, is he going to drop? Oh, he barely goes down, but again, it's going to be a podcast. Napkin and Esk, they will give their lives away for this. I don't believe they even got the dual damage out of that. A little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, it just doesn't quite line up. They might be able to punish Tomato, though.
They may. Overgrowth was there. You've got the CK to back him up. Tomato going to go for the TP away. The silence, it's going to last long enough. Oh, that hurts.
No. That is not nice.
Alemi literally stops just to tip Tomato on the Bloodseeker. That was a beautiful play.
That was heads up. That was heads up timing on the Blood Right, knowing his window to kind of TP out. I do love as well, and I want to point this out, Whitebond is using Fnatic's wisdom. He's never left C. He's still repping C all the way here in NA. Gotta love Whitebond.
Absolutely.
Radiant's bottom tower
Old
has
line
fallen.
one. Here's the mid, rather bot tier 1 tower. And TSM already keeping that mid tier 1 tower extremely low. Living armor, it's a pretty slow process these days in terms of healing it up.
Dire's
Things are coming out
structures
towards that mid lane. Thiuth, they're going to get started on the top tier 1 and should eventually be able to take this out, but I think they might be trading their own mid tier 1 for this. Kind of like, do you want to react to the mid defense? Seems like Thiuth might just be okay taking the top tier 1 instead.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant structures
Yeah, it
are
just feels like they don't really have a choice right now. Like, they can just farm up top. S can kind of get that build up into Bloodstone, flowing a little bit faster. They can't really stop mid. As you mentioned, Living Armor just doesn't stall out as much as it used to, and immediately TSM go for a smoke. So they're not even looking to rest. They just want to keep playing fast like this.
Well, they know exactly where the CK's gone. I mean, Lamy's just hanging around that dire jungle right now, and well, there's your Moonlight Shadow being popped as well by TSM. They're going to run right into the CK. Just a matter of locking him down, and Whitemon, he's going to cut him off. Arrow will be there to follow up. And there's just nothing they can do to help. Absolutely nothing.
I mean, they had really good wards from TSM, right? Like, they had this outpost ward that you don't really look to de-ward early on. They get a good rotation out. They just smoke Moonlight Shadow every time it's available. for Thiuth, there were shining moments. It does feel like they kind of need to maybe just group around Napkin again. He does have his blink up, so this should be the timing for Thiuth to look for that smoke play, get a nice pick off going, start to build up some damage, buy some space for Esk and for Lamy, as these heroes still need a lot more to be effective.
Bottom. It's going to be okay. Kasane continues working on towards that pipe. Some TSM sticking as a team looking for more pickoffs. They've all TP'd down bot. You've got 3 heroes there. They do have a smoke on 9 if they want to try and force something. They did have vision just a moment ago, but Whitemon will get the D wards off, but the smoke has been popped. They're going to try. Get somebody out. Maybe get a bit of dual damage onto Napkin. However, you're not really seeing any easy targets here. Kasane does show on that Broodmother. His team isn't too close by, but he's being very cautious with the way he positions himself. And again, it's just going to be very hard to close the gap and actually get the duel off here. Even with a blink up on the Cell C. Ultimately, they just won't be able to even try.
Yeah, the TSM just figured something was up. They go for a D ward. They know the CM's going to be a prime target for an easy pickoff, but no one comes to respond. Figure someone else is being targeted down bot. It is space for Lamy to just farm up top at the least. But Bryle's also getting a ton of space. Mask of Madness up with the Dragonlance, going for the Maelstrom next. You've got the BKB lined up here for Tomato, not too far off. And once those items are up, it's not an easy game for Thiuth. Once the BKB especially comes online, like, you have no way of really killing off Bryle that quickly. You are mainly reliant on spell damage in this lineup, so that burst window you're looking for with a duel on Napkin, if it does go, if you're trying to just isolate Tomato, if you play as quickly enough, it might not work out the way you want it to.
Cheeky little arrow there from Ari. It's landing it right onto the CK. Arcane Rune going to be found here for Esk. Open up a bit of opportunity now for Thiuth. Try and make something happen with that. TSM. 8k advantage, just another massive net worth advantage. All top net worth of the 3 cores of TSM. Fine. Thinking about moving in. Whitemon will be there. Just an over out. Frostbite is there. Arrow to follow up and is barely going to connect. And now, well, with the CM ulti, they have so much damage.
And now,
It's a very nice combination between these two. They could just pretty much solo anyone.
Yeah, just rotate around the map, set up, get a long-range stun, and you've got the damage, as long as you've got Freezing Field off cooldown. It is only a support tiny kill at this point. I mean, you're really not losing too much at this point with the network you have on 9, and you have managed to buy the space out for Esk to finish that Bloodstone. So your Leshrac does have more face value up front. Smoke immediately broken by Love.
It is. They'll find him eventually, I believe, as the shrapnel does give the vision. So Love's going to drop. Whitemon now dominating on the CM. I mean, why the hell not, I suppose? This whole time, Kasane's just continued to free farm, and so is Tomato. It's the BKB up if he wants to get involved with his team. Thiuth obviously need a lot more time to be able to keep up and catch up. It seems like TSM are almost thinking about trying to force a tier 2 mid tower already, but it's a bit early for that, I think. Just continue controlling pretty much all aspects of the map here. I think if they have brought 3 heroes up top just to make sure that Lamy is going to be okay, and in fact they might be able to make a jump on Tomato. Keep in mind, BKB is available, but they are looking for the jewel here from Napkin. Problem is they just don't have the vision, and Tomato's being very cautious with the way he positions himself. It looks like he might just make it out. Blink forward, but they aren't going to see him.
There's a few fancy dance moves from Tomato. Again, just perfect reading from TSM. Realizing that they've got bot shoved in, they've got mid shoved. They are invading that jungle. So there's no way Thiuth could be anywhere else but looking for up top or in their triangle. And they have a triangle ward. Their turn to smoke though.
Yes. Oh, he's already popped the Bloodstone as well. Rough, 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 rough. 9, he's going to walk in, but Whitemon, he's already got the ulti going. Yeah, another kill to go the way of TSM as they go for more now. Love in the tree line is going to get silenced up. He'll try to go for a run, but there really is no way out of this. He will go down. And TSM again continuing the aggression's brile. Happy to hand some tips over.
He's been tipping love for 2 games in a row now.
He certainly has.
Non-stop.
Not
It's
very
all been
nice,
love.
is it?
No.
Not very nice at all.
He's just sending some love to love.
It's a different kind of love here from Bra. Jewel though, they have caught Tomato. That's a kill. Tips out immediately from Napkin.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really big kill for them to get. You know, we've been looking for that movement out for the blink, and they do manage to find the big target they want. So that does give them a little bit more time. They did lose their mid-tier 2 for that. But at this point, you just need to take these pickoffs while you can. You know, find what you can. Try to build onto maybe 9's blink, if possible, as well on this Tiny. And then you've got a lot more angles to play with. You still have to worry about just losing your map right now. It does feel like you've lost your bot jungle. Tier 2, probably not long for this life once they do focus in on it on TSM's end. And Thiuth, I mean, look at their position. They're standing by the river. They're kind of posturing aggressively. They're playing around their vision on that top side area.
Oh, look at the damage. Esk. He'll survive thanks to the Bloodstone. But my god, that was close. That was very, very close.
Yeah, it's scary when that Brood's just right on top of you. You can't clear out the Spiderlings as well that fast with the pipe up inside up. They are going for a smoke though. Duel is back off.
Tomato, he's a great target if they can catch him. Instead they'll jump onto Whitemon. There still could be a fight to force out if you want for TSM. They're thinking about it. Tomato, he'll rush forward. Goes Ari as well. Doesn't really have any way of landing a nice arrow though, apart from just trying to land. Oh, in fact, never mind. He does land a perfect arrow onto the LC. Love at least is going to be able to TP up, but Napkin may not be so lucky. They will continue to chase him down. Eventually should have their way with him. No way out for Napkin. He'll drop.
Yeah, it's a nice trade in the end. I mean, you lose Whitemon, but you find Two for your trouble. I think overall, you might still be a little bit happy on Thiuth because Whitemon was actually worth a decent chunk of change with that kill streak he had on his CM. Still, you are making sacrifices around the map. You save Esk, allow him to bail out, and you are allowing your Leshrac now to work onto that BKB. Once you've got the BKB on Lesh, once you've got this BKB on Lamy, who has been given a lot of space now, it is a lot more playable. You don't have to worry about the CM as much. You don't have to worry about the arrow combinations following through from that route. You can just kind of fight back and lay onto TSM. And the high ground is there for Thiuth. If they manage to get this blink up on 9, you've got some plays left. You can just always go for the toss back, go for the duels, and kind of stall from there.
TSM, Roshan, it's up. Go ahead and force it. Nice easy Roshan to take as well, just no contest to come. Nothing Thiuth can do about this. He'll just probably go to the way of Tomato. Go ahead and pick it up himself. TSM, they might take a bit of time here to get some farm up, maybe go for a reset. They're the ones that probably need more time, however. Sticking as a team at the moment, just protecting Lamy, giving him the time he needs in the CK. You see how much of the map they control right now. It's really only the bottom side of that Radiant jungle. Not a very nice position to be in if you are Thiuth. Meanwhile, you look at top lane, Kasane's just casually pushing that top tier 2 tower. You know, I just don't think a defense is coming.
Nah, you can't stop it. The Spider Army is just way too much, even with the living armor up. It doesn't stop it. You've got the full Parching Greaves up as well to just keep healing up the Spiderlings, giving them a little bit more armor. And I think for Thiuth, you do have a pretty decent timing now with the BKB up in Lamy. It's just that you lack damage. It's trying to work onto the Mage Slayer. It should be up in a timely manner at the least. You can mitigate some of the damage coming out, go for the Bloodthorn down the line. But you've lost your map. No outer towers left. Smoke out from TSM. And try to flush out remnants of Thiuth here.
Here we go. TSM. See Love first. Moonlight Shadow's there. They'll catch up the tree. Not the biggest kill in the world, but they'll take what they get. The rest of the Thiuth really just on the right side of the map right now. Not sure what the plan is, because TSM is still running towards them. Maybe just no way out. They've got TPs available, but they have not committed them in the arrow. Ari's going to land it. Lamey, forced the BKB TP away, will be able to make it. Napkin, he does also get out.
Just not the best use of time. At the same time, they don't really have anywhere else to play. If they were looking to play aggressive, they've got the duel ready. They kind of just want to burst someone down, and Brawl just plays it super safe. The one thing for TSM right now, I feel like if you're feeling confident enough, you could go just bash your sniper. You know, you could definitely do that, but Brawl is just going for the Gleipnir. So the smarter play rather than the memer play, but bash your sniper.
Yeah.
That stops TPs.
It's new tech from John X Fire. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
It's new tech from my stack. That's what they do. They grief me.
Oh, Tier 2 bottom tower will drop.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
All out of towers now gone. You've only got high ground to go here for TSM. Age is still up for 2.5 minutes. Thiuth, I mean, it's a similar story to game one. Like, they're kind of backs against the wall right now. There's just very little places to farm, little objectives to go for themselves. TSM, they can take their sweet time with this if they so wish. They could also just choose to rush the high ground with this Aegis timing. Really up to them.
Yeah, they've got this game under their control right now in TSM. It's down to Thiuth to find an opening. Like, they do have this blink up on 9, so they've got another timing to play with. And blink toss back is there, or just isolating here becomes a lot easier to open up for the LC duel. You can see how confident they are. Love.
Gets caught out. Whitemon going for a solo pick-off here and does get it. It's just such a tough thing, right? Like, because you can pop Overgrowth to stop the freezing field, but then you popped Overgrowth.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a no-win situation there for Love. So, just cop the death, respawn, wait for an opportunity. And TSM, well, they can just keep doing what they want, really. We're seeing a Gleipnir build up by Tomato as well. So, multiple Gleipnirs. I'd love to see them all come out at once. Sounds fun.
Yeah, I mean, why the hell not? Like, it's just kind of hard when you've got that much lockdown available from TSM. Only really one BKB available right now on the side of Thiuth, so I suppose you have the press the attack as well from Napkin, but that's about it. Very, very rough to fight into. I just can't leave the base. Thiuth just trapped in the base right now. They can only just take out the Spiderlings from a mile away. That's pretty much it. Aegis will expire pretty soon, so they might be able to smoke up and try to make something happen. It doesn't seem like TSM are going to be able to get anything done with this Aegis. Though I say that, Moonlight Shadow has been popped. They are trying to find someone, and there's a 5-man smoke out from Thiuth. So they want to try and time this correctly. Ari is going to break that smoke and just leap away. Now TSM. Oh, arrow. Not going to land on Lamey. The chase is on. Kasane gets caught. But never mind, Napkin. He was the one tossed up. And he's just going to drop. Dual damage to go the way of the Broodmother. Lamey's still trying to force the fight, but it's not working in his favor. He needs to get out. Tomato's right back in. 9, he might drop to boot and does.
Yeah, that's rough. Smoke being broken, your opening just disappears, high ground immediately pumps out from TSM. Great use of the Gleipnir, picked up by Brawl. Just getting that additional lockdown to find those extra pickoffs. And I don't know what Thiuth can actually do. It's unless they can maybe get a toss back into the fountain or just keep isolating one hero that's easier to pick off than a Broodmother under a web. I think that was a pretty tough target to go for. Kasane is just too durable with all the ores he's got on hand. They need to, even just picking off someone like Whitemon or Aru with duel is probably okay. You just want to slow this pace down a little bit and hold high ground.
Kasane's got like half the dual damage of the LC right now.
Unfortunate.
You know, that's when you're having a bad game as an LC. It's just when the enemy cores that have just almost as much dual damage as you do.
And that's just one duel, by the way. That's just one duel win for Kasane. That's how little Napkin's been able to get out from this LC. And it's just been a rough game. It's just been constantly on TSM. They're the ones being aggressive. They're the ones that read the map a lot better and use the map a lot better right now, at the least.
Ari, they get jumped. Jewel is there. Maybe they can try and get a bit more now, and they do. Nice start, but problem is they've lost 9 immediately. Buybacks are there for both these supports that have dropped. Onto the LC they go. Napkin trying to run, but may just go down as well and does. Meanwhile, S between absolutely everybody on the side of TSM is gone as well. In comes Whitemon with the freezing field now. There is a fight breaking out. I mean, Lamy's trying his absolute best, but Bryle's godlike now. It's tough. It's really, really tough.
Yeah, it is. It feels like maybe again Thiuth, the coordination just isn't quite lined up. We saw the BKB pop out from Lamy and he backed off while we saw Esk kind of walk in. And he ran out of BKB by the time he decided to commit on that CK. Mid set of racks, set to fall now. And Thiuth, again, one big play left is the toss back. If they find that angle with 9, that could actually stall the game. The issue is finding that angle, or even if TSM actually gives them that angle to play with.
Duel out on DLC, and yeah, well, we've seen this story before.
Yeah.
He's trying. I can't blame him. He's got them. Yeah, they call it. They've had enough. GG.
It's rough. It's rough. I mean, it's like what the panel talked about, right? It's like Thiuth has gone through 2 really tough opponents to open up in the DPC.
Yeah.
And they didn't really have much time to prep for, shape up after their last match. They had a day